Everybody, welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to a match reaction show. Breathe, breathe. That's what it is. What a goal fest we've had in the Premier League, and it's finished. Newcastle 3, Manchester City 3, and I think it's a match where both managers will be upset that they didn't pick up the 3 points, and then both managers will probably go, yeah, well, it's good that we got a point. I think it's one of those surreal feelings that you have. And I think this is where that is because both teams made comebacks in the game, and I think both teams will feel that they should have won it. And that it's something that you just go, well, that's just the Premier League, that's just football, isn't it? But what a game we had! That was fantastic. When City started pretty well actually, and when they opened the scoring, with the Gundogan, you really thought, oh my god, this is going to be City all over again. This is just going to be a stroll. I mean, that was such poor defending from Newcastle. I mean, that's the theme for the game throughout. I don't think any defender comes out of the game with any kind of credit, to be honest. That was just such a good move, though. Gundogan has time to not only shoot, he has time to take a touch, a bad touch even, and then he still manages to score. I mean, that's how bad the marking and defending was on that cross from Bernardo Silva. It was really bad, and but Gundogan scores, and you think, oh, City, but that's just the way they are. That's the way they'll play. They'll stroll this. De Bruyne should have made it 2-0. One-on-one with the keeper. Pope saves with his legs. Not the first time that Pope makes a save, but he saves it. There's another chance where Foden could have squared it to Haaland, but instead goes by himself. Again, Pope saves it. So you felt like City are just in the mood and they're gonna steamroll Newcastle. But Newcastle slowly work their way back in the game, slowly working their way back. Allan Saint-Maximin starts picking up the ball. Howe figured out something, and what he figured out was that Kyle Walker keeps going forward to create that overload, but there's that space in between Walker and Stones where Maximin can operate, and Maximin just gives Stones a run and out. Throughout the game, at least up to the 60th minute, I think just Maximin just made Walker and Stones look average. He made them look really average, and he just kept running. And for some reason, City didn't get it. I don't know what happened with Guardiola. Maybe it was complacency, maybe it was overconfidence. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was belief in the plan. But we just decided to ignore that. Just when, yeah, let's say Maximin have a run, we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it. And then the goal comes, the equalizer comes. Maximin gets again past the player, puts in a wonderful cross. By the way, before that, Maximin actually had another chance, which Almiron should have scored to make it 1-1. And he just blazed it over. That should have been the warning sign for Manchester City, but they just ignored it. And Saint Maximin does again. He was involved in all three goals, by the way. Saint Maximin, it was a brilliant game, man of the match by far. It just looks so good. Maybe Pope also could be a contender, but I think Maximin really was the best player on the pitch by far. Just ran ragged, and then again that goal comes. It's a good cross. I think it's Willock who should be getting on it. He doesn't. Almiron just stumbles because of Cancelo's challenge, and he just gets his thigh on it. It's a goal. It's 1-1. It's an unconventional way to score, but they all count at the end of the day. It's 1-1. Cancelo was at fault for that goal as well, as was Stones. And Diaz, of course, was also playing him on side, but mostly Stones and Cancelo were at fault for that first goal. And then, somehow City just get rattled. They get rattled, but they still don't deal with the threat of Maximin. They just left him to do whatever he wants to do, and he gets a and then he gets another goal because again, it's a wonderful cross inside, and Callum Wilson says thank you very much. Cuts inside, scores a goal, 2-1, and City looked really, really rattled at that point. They just looked like they didn't know what to do. But the problem was, I mean, the answer was there. I almost feel like they didn't want to take that step. I think almost Guardiola thought I shouldn't be taking this step against Newcastle, so he just left it, and they continue in the second half again. Maximin's just running and running, and this is a wonderful break as well. Haaland gets a nice little shot away. Pope puts it onto the post from that counter. Maximin earns a foul, and Trippier scores the free kick. There's a wonderful, and it's 3-1 up, and you're thinking Newcastle is rocking. You're thinking, oh my god, what's gonna happen to City? But that's Manchester City. They're champions for a reason. They don't just wilt. They don't just stumble. They don't just give up. And I think Newcastle kind of expected City might give up, and I think they thought, okay, that we can just ease off a little bit, and they did, and that allowed City back into the game. The second goal was needless as well because Schar actually put it out for a corner when he didn't need to. Pope, it was coming to Pope, and Schar for some reason thought I'll just bunt it out for a corner. He didn't need to do it. The first corner was saved, but then the second corner comes in, Haaland scores. So it's fantastic finish from Haaland, and it's 3-2. And once you give City a way in, they're gonna slam the door open. They're gonna go, yeah, thank you very much, and they did that. Haaland should have made it 3-3. Pope saves again. And but then Bernardo then it comes again. Kevin De Bruyne with a brilliant pass, the kind of pass that only Kevin De Bruyne can pull off. He pulls it off, and Bernardo Silva says thank you very much, and he scores, and it's 3-3. And at that point, Newcastle were kind of hanging on, and the reason why they were hanging on was because they had the out ball of Maximin throughout that game. But the problem was City finally decided after the third goal, we've got to do something about this guy, and then they started double teaming, triple teaming him. I think Bernardo Silva started tracking back more to cause his runs. Walker started staying more wider. He was having trouble trying to cut in every time. So he said, I'm going to just stay wide. I'm going to be a right back. I don't want to be a central midfielder. So he became a right back. And they had, and of course, Rodri and Stones make sure that they were covering Maximin. So you had 3 or 4 people every time on Maximin. So that out ball kind of went away. And with that, Newcastle's threat kind of went away. And then it was very City pretty much for the last 20 minutes. They could have had a fourth. There was quite a few chances that they could have scored, but Pope kept them in the game, and ultimately they came away with the point. I think at the start of the game, Newcastle would have taken a point, but having been 3-1 up, I'm sure they'll be disappointed. Same for City. I think at the start of the game, they probably thought we should have won this, and they probably would, at the end as well, they would have thought we should have won this. But in between, I think the fact that they came back from 3-1 will please Guardiola. And throughout this game, the one theme that stood out to me is again, this is, got to think of it this way as well. City, I think, had a poor game in the middle, probably from about the 15th minute to about the 65th minute, not 65th, but about 60th minute. They had a really bad game. They were completely ragged. But for the rest of it, they showed a lot of character. They showed a lot of personality. And to me, what it shows is that as long as City, play their game, and as long as they're allowed to play their game, they will win all the trophies they compete for. They're just far head and shoulders above everyone. The only thing that's going to stop them is their own hubris and their own complacency. And I think those 3 goals were a result of the complacency, because if Guardiola had decided to adapt his game sooner, if he had figured out, yes, I'm going to stop Saint-Maximin, I'm going to get 4 players on him, they would never have had this issue. Once they decided to cut Maximin out of the game, Newcastle had no other threat as such, and that is the thing. And the goals that they came, the reality is not all teams have players of the caliber of Saint-Maximin. Not all teams can play the way Newcastle playing. Newcastle were playing a very high percentage, high risk game, because the entire game plan was about letting City come to them, then nicking the ball, and then quickly countering and using Saint-Maximin's space to get past players. That is a risky strategy. It's not going to work every time. And most teams, you're basically relying on City messing up in possession or messing up with their shot and then the countering. And that won't happen every game. It happened in this game, but it won't happen every game. So the game plan that Newcastle had worked today. And I think and there will be teams that can play on the counter better than Newcastle as well. I mean, there's quite a few teams that I can think of in England and Europe. But it's a very risky strategy, and it requires a lot. It's a lot more reactive than proactive, and so I think City will eventually get that counter. So as long as they're not complacent and hubristic about their approach to the season, I think City will still achieve whatever their targets are. The only thing is this a one-off, or is this something and something that Pep can learn from, or is this something that's going to go, well, it's just a bad day in the office, it doesn't matter, we'll just keep doing what we're doing. Right, it wasn't a big deal. So that's I think is what's going to define where City finish. But I'm sure Pep is who Pep is, because he's going to think, we've got to figure that part out. But I mean, ultimately, well done to Newcastle. I thought they played really well. Well done to Saint-Maximin. I think he just sensational. The way that he played was just brilliant. For about 50 minutes, Eddie Howe had the measure of Pep Guardiola, but ultimately, I think that the superior quality told. I do have Newcastle finishing sixth this season, by the way. I do have them finishing sixth. I think they can. I really think they can, because there's the West Ham don't look good right now. Leicester not looking good right now. I mean, Wolves whatever they are. So there is an I mean, you're not going to rely on Wolves finish sixth, and I can't really see Aston Villa struggling as well. So that beyond that top 5, all the other teams, it's pretty much who can get a consistent enough run to get that 6th spot. So I think Newcastle will very well finish 6th this season if they can keep this performance level up. And they have kept, and they've got 5 points from their opening 3 games, which is fantastic return for them. So if they can keep that level up, I think they can easily get 6 spots. So that's something they'll need to look at. For City, I mean, again, the defense, right? I mean, Stones look absolutely bang average. Walker look bang average. It might be worth trying Cancelo on the right and playing Sergio Gomez on the left. I think that's something they might want to try. I still think that their best centre-back partnership is Stones and Laporte. I know Laporte is injured. I think those two just complement each other. I think Stones and Diaz, for some reason, it doesn't work. I don't know why, but those two just don't work together. But anyway, and Haaland getting a goal, I think will be fun. I mean, I didn't think he had an average game against Bournemouth. I didn't think that. I know some people said it was an average game. I didn't think so. I think he got an assist. He didn't get a lot of touches, but whatever he did, he made it count. He got an assist, so you can't really fault him for that. But today he was much better. Even if he was average, he was much better today. Got a goal as well. His space, his power, his strength is always going to be a problem for defenders, and I think that's something that I don't know if anybody's ever going to be able to figure that code out. But he just looks menacing, and I think he's the only area of concern that City might have had is completely blown that away now. So I think City just look complete in all aspects as long as they can maintain their composure and their and keep their sort of and mentality. As long as they can keep their composure, their mental strength, as long as they can make sure that they don't get complacent, I think they'll win everything. I mean that's just what I think. But anyway, let me know in the comments what do you think of the game. What do you think of the goal? There is fantastic goal scored today. It's a wonderful, entertaining game to watch. So let me know what you think, of course. Do smash like for Saint-Maximin, man of the match. Do that, of course. Of course, you're Manchester City persuasion. You can also smash a like for City's comeback. So yeah, whatever the reason, smash a like on the video. Why not? Smash a like with that. And do remember to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. We've got another match reaction show for you today. So you'll be notified as soon as it drops if you're a subscriber. Of course, we do appreciate your support as well. So please do that as well. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon. Bye bye.